Yes, Atomic Habits deserves all 5 stars, but just reading it is not going to change your life. You have to actually learn how to apply the principles within the book. But after watching this video, you will even understand why Cenat is reading this book to help change his life. Atomic Habits is one of the most recommended productivity books of all time. And most people do not change their life after they've read it. But me, 4 years ago when I brought it when I was an undergrad, I did. And it helped me graduate with a computer engineering degree, also get my master's in business administration, and secure my dream job, all by the age of 24. By the end of this video, you will understand why Atomic Habits is so powerful, how I use it alongside with AI, and the best life-changing advice in the book. Let's start with why Atomic Habits is so powerful. Atomic Habit is about making tiny changes over time that compound. It's not about goals, but it's about systems. This ultimately means the things you do daily define your identity. For example, if I say I'm a runner, but I never actually go on any runs, am I really a runner? That is why, in order to achieve success, you have to go beyond just having a goal. You have to go to creating systems and making it a part of your identity. When you build systems the right way, you're not just changing who you are, but you're changing what's going on underneath the surface. James Clear explains that real habit change doesn't happen with goals. It happens with changing your identity and the habits that go along with that. First, you decide who you want to be, your identity. Then you create a process that supports that identity. And over time, you will eventually see the results that you have been wanting. Most people start with the results and work their way in. But the reality is, it should be the opposite. You should start internally and then work until you see that outcome. For example, let's say your goal is to run a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. If you only focus on that, it sounds very, very daunting. But if you break it down to, I want to be a runner, I am a runner, that's a whole different ball game. You then have to say, well, what does a runner do? They run consistently. So you can start with running 2 and 3 miles, and eventually you will work out to that outcome that you desire. It might not happen right away, but changing your identity to support what you're trying to do will help you get there. Now that we understand that principle, we can dive into Clear's 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious always comes down to cues, which are like time and location. So you can use a sentence like, I insert your habit that you want to do at a specific time and location. And when you write that down, it really solidifies your brain. This is the thing that I'm going to do. For example, I will study for an hour at 6 p.m. in my living room. Another way to make it obvious is to do habit stacking. This can mean doing a habit you already have and pairing a new one that you want to do with that. For example, every morning I go to the coffee maker and I make coffee. Before I drink that coffee, while the coffee's brewing, I'm going to drink 8 ounces of water. If my habit at that time is to start drinking more water, that helps because I know when I go to that coffee maker and while that coffee's brewing, I can be drinking 8 ounces. The second law is make it attractive. Essentially, make it so easy to do that it's repeatable. You can apply this by doing something called temptation building. Essentially, you pair it with something that you really want to do and with something that you really need to do. So for example, I really want to sit down and watch TV. And you say, well, while I'm watching TV, I am also going to sort through my mail or sort through my bills or do my finances. That way you're pairing something that kind of is a reward by watching TV with something that you really need to get done. You're essentially creating a motivational ritual. You're pairing it with something that you really enjoyed before you do something that you really need to do, like a habit or a system that you're trying to start. The third law is make it easy. Make it so easy that you cannot find a single excuse not to do it. Lower the bar so low that you literally cannot fail. Example, make your first habit laying out your gym clothes the night before. Make it so simple that all I have to do is sit out my shirt, my shorts, and my socks. Essentially making it very, very hard for you not to do that task. I didn't say go to the gym. I didn't say wake up at 6 a.m. I just said lay out your clothes the night before. Start with that and then work your way up. The last law that Clear mentions is make it satisfying. Give yourself an immediate reward after you've done that habit. You can do this simply by creating a habit tracker and tracking each day if you've done it. Eventually, that little check mark that you're adding to that line makes you feel really, really good. And once you start seeing that progress, you feel more incentivized not to break that chain. When you have 5 in a row, you kind of want to get that 6, which is the next day. And when you get to 100 in a row, you really don't want to break that chain. And that's ultimately the goal. Make it so satisfying in a sense that once you've completed it, you know your body already knows you're getting a reward. And something that's very important with this, even if you are checking off your list, you're not always going to be perfect, but learn to never miss twice. Whenever you miss twice, you start saying, oh, I can miss another time and another time. Now that we understand the rules, we can start using other tools like AI to help optimize our habits and creating them. One thing that I did that made this very easy was going on ChatGPT and saying, I want to identify as this type of person. I am a runner. What are the habits do I need to start doing to help support this identity? List out habits that I can start progressively doing over the next 12 weeks. Start with habits that I can be done in 2 minutes. And then just look at the results. I use several different habits just like this one. Some asking to refine around my schedule, my 9 to 5, or just in general building out a whole system of habits that I can start doing. If you want to see more of these prompts, there's a link down below. Check it out. And I'll also have a Notion that you guys can also use as well. Now, time for the biggest life-changing rule I took away from this book. And it's called the 2-minute rule. Essentially, the 2-minute rule is just do it for 2 minutes. And I'm telling you, once you set that timer and you have 2 minutes going, when that timer goes off, you'll be like, oh, I can keep going. But stop. Make yourself realize that it was not that hard. So a lot of times I'll break my habits down into just doing them in 2 minutes. So that's, okay, I'm gonna work out. Well, I'll start doing push-ups. And when 2 minutes goes off, that's it, I'm done. But I always say, start with 2 minutes. The thing you don't wanna do, the habit you don't wanna do, whatever it is, just do it for 2 minutes. And you will see the life-changing effects. Thank you all for watching. If you want more productivity tips, look down my bio and look forward to my next video.